Well, certainly E.G. Marshall is a familiar face to television viewers. I don't know whether I should call you E.G. or Mr. Marshall. What do
Oh,
your friends call you?
Ege. It
Each.
rhymes with siege.
All right. I hope I don't forget and call you Siege. Anyway, I shall call you Mr. Marshall. I think I feel more comfortable doing that. Let's talk about this new series, The Bold Ones. You were in the Defenders for what, 5 years, wasn't it?
4 years,
4 years.
yeah.
Did you jump at the chance to do this new series?
Yes, I did. It was quite a leap, too, because changing professions at my age is quite a daring undertaking. But all of us are fascinated with what's going on in medicine today, the new developments. And one of our shows, we're going to show something that will be a great blessing for sightless persons. There actually is a device in the experimental stage now, and it works. It will permit a sightless person to read, to see objects and discern objects, and to go walking without a cane or a dog. Now, isn't that great? See, this is a spin-off from the space age of medicine. See, that's not lost money up there whirling around. That somewhat is being adapted for medicine and engineering and to make our lives more comfortable and more worthwhile.
How close might this be for masses of sightless persons, Mr. Marshall?
Well, they don't have enough money at the moment. They don't have as much as they should have, but they actually have this apparatus. And the director of our show went up there, and had his eyes closed, and he had it blindfolded, and he sat in this apparatus, and he was able to discern a line, whether it was straight up and down, straight out, or diagonal. And then he saw a man, a sightless person, actually reading letters at the rate that we would do the sighted people.
That's absolutely fantastic. Would it apply to someone who was blind from birth?
Well, that's what they don't know about yet. They think that they can be trained. It is easier, of course, to do it with someone who lost his sight after having seen, because the visual images are transmitted to the brain through the skin rather than through the retina. And so whether they can be trained not having ever seen is another matter. Oh, dear.
I think somebody's camera gear just
Yes.
bit the dust. We'll continue and hope that they're not in too big a problem. Mr. Marshall, will any of the episodes that you'll be involved with in the Bold Ones, will any of those be controversial, do you know?
I don't know what controversy there can be involved with health and curing disease. The conquest of disease certainly can't be controversial. There are certainly the people who are involved in the fight on cancer that are approaching it from different ways, but they're all optimistic and they're a very hopeful breed. And it's the allocation of funds that I think where the controversy would come, that communities ought to be aware of these new developments and, for instance, the intensive care units that some hospitals have. Not every hospital has it. Every hospital should have it. Well, where are the funds coming from? I think that would be the controversy. I don't think there'll be anything controversial about the show. Now, there are moral questions and ethical questions, religious questions involved in transplants. Now, can a man say that none of his organs can be used for transplant after his death? Well, now suppose a member of his family needed a kidney. And now, what about breaking that will to take the kidney from the person who was unfortunately killed in an automobile accident? That might save a life. You see, these are ethical questions. That might be the controversy, whether it is moral and ethical, and whether it violates any religious principles to transplant an organ from another person to an individual that needs it.
The doctor you play, what kind of a person is he, Mr. Marshall?
Well, I think he could be described as a specialist. He's head of the new institute, the new medical institute, and it embraces all of the new medicine. And under him, under my character, David Craig, John Saxon, and David Hartman, who are younger surgeons and experimenting and actually carrying out some of these procedures that we used to read about in science fiction. They're now today's reality.
Will you get into, you think, any political issues? Like, will you do any episodes that would involve Medicare and Medicaid?
So far we haven't, but certainly national health insurance is a very vital issue, making these new medical procedures and care available to everyone. That's one thing that I think we're all striving to do, whatever political party we belong to. I don't think anyone can disagree with that every American should have available the modern health care. Now, if that's controversial, then I don't understand the meaning of the word. I don't see how anyone can disagree that a child or a man or a woman should be denied medical care because he can't afford it. Some of us can afford the finest medical care. I think everyone should have it available.
Mr. Marshall, it's been a great pleasure talking with you today, poolside here at the Sheraton Universal, and we hope you have the best of success with this new NBC series, The Bold Ones.